Hello everyone, welcome to Good Learners. We're back with yet another video. This is Leah Matthew and today we are going to study India's economic policy in this session. That includes a study of the mixed economy, the 5-year plans, nationalization of banks, the 20-point program, the mill workers' strike and especially the new economic policy of 1991. So let's get to it. Our Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru adopted the middle path rather than taking recourse to any extremes. In a capitalist system, the means of production are privately owned. In a socialist economy, the means of production are owned by the state in the name of the society. A mixed economy works both in the private as well as the public sector. In India, we give preference to a model of mixed economy. We can see 3 parts in this kind of economy. To begin with, the public sector. The industries in this sector are completely under the control and management of the government. For example, the production of defense equipments. The private sector. The industries in this sector are owned by private industrialists. For example, the consumer goods. And finally, the joint sector. In this sector, some industries are owned by private industrialists, while some are run under government management. For a mixed economy to run smoothly, there is a need for coordination between the private and the public sector. This system aims at maximization of production and popular participation on a very large scale. A mixed economy tends to give priority to national interest. The industrial policy of 1973 increased the speed of development. Priority was given in this policy to control the influence of heavy industries, remove the imbalance in regional development, importance to corporate sectors, entrepreneurship, discipline, time-bound planning, and so on. Next, we are going to discuss about the 5-year plans. Planning was very essential to solving many of the then prevalent problems in India such as poverty, unemployment, population growth, low standards of living, so on and so forth. India established the Planning Commission in 1950 with Prime Minister Pandit Nehru as its chairman. It formulated India's 5-year plans, which we will be studying in detail. But before that, let's have a look at the fundamental principles of planning. A general principle of planning is a proportional distribution of the resources of a country and the appropriate use of the human resources to fulfill the needs of the people. The general goals of the economic planning of India are as follows. Increase in the national income, rapid industrialization, increase in agricultural production, increasing employment opportunities, removing the inequality in earnings, family planning, social services, and most importantly, stabilizing the economy. First 5-year plan. The first 5-year plan happened from 1951 to 1956. The expenditure in this plan was primarily focused on agriculture, social development, irrigation, small industries, education, and health. The second 5-year plan, 1956 to 1961, this plan had ambitious goals of industrialization. Iron and steel industries at Durgapur, Bhilai, and Rourkela, shipbuilding factory at Visakhapatnam, and other heavy industries were set up in the public sector. Huge dams like Bhakra Nangal, Damodar, etc. were built to make water available for irrigation facilities. The third 5-year plan was aimed at bringing about a balance in industries and agriculture. After the third 5-year plan, 3 one-year plans were implemented from 1966 to 1969. This was a period of intense famine. Due to the invasion by China and war with Pakistan, the government had to focus on defense rather than development-related tasks. The fourth 5-year plan focused on self-reliance and government should develop the basic industries, increase the speed of economic development and pay close attention to establishing a socialistic pattern of society. 14 major banks in the country were nationalized. This plan, however, did not succeed as well as expected. The economy had to bear the burden of the Bangladesh war. The fifth 5-year plan was designed with the goal of making India economically self-sufficient by alleviating poverty. It was mainly focused on implementing social welfare schemes, which included different areas such as education, water supply, medicine, agriculture, and a public distribution system. However, it did not succeed well. In the 1977 general elections, the Janata Party came to power and entered the fifth plan and started something called as a rolling plan from April 1978. But however, it failed. In 1980, general elections were held for Lok Sabha. The Congress Party came back to power and again started the 5-year plans like before. The sixth 5-year plan, 1980 to 1985. This plan also stressed upon alleviation of poverty and employment generation. The Integrated Rural Development Program, the IRDP, and the National Rural Employment Program, the NREP, were implemented during this period. The seventh 5-year plan focused on development, modernization, self-reliance, social justice, improving the techniques of production to achieve an yearly increase in national income of 5% and increase food grain production. Jawahar Yojkar Yojana, the India Awas Yojana, and the scheme of 10 lakh wells were introduced during this period. Eighth 5-year plan, 1992 to 1997. This plan gave a lot of scope to the private sector. It encouraged the program of family planning to remove illiteracy by expansion of primary education. This plan is a reflection of the liberalization and the free market policy which was adopted in 1991. Now let's go on to the nationalization of banks. Nationalization of banks was very essential to cover the deficits if they occurred while implementing different schemes. Also, the profits of these banks come into the government treasury once they were nationalized. Lal Bahadur Shastri undertook the experiment of the Green Revolution in order to overcome food shortages and drought. During the tenure of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, Congress Forum for Socialist Action, a group in the Congress Party inspired by socialist ideas, made a demand for nationalization of commercial banks. The 20-point program. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi announced the 20-point program on 1st July 1975 and resolved to make efforts towards rapidly becoming a developed nation. The main provisions of the 20-point program are as follows: equal division of wealth, minimum wages for workers, national training scheme, the prevention of tax evasion, improvements in the public distribution system, the textile industry, housing, as well as communication facilities. The issue of workers. The first textile mill was started in Mumbai on 11th July 1851 by Kavasji Davar. In the 1980s, the increasing unrest among workers was mainly due to the economic conditions which were prevalent in the other sectors. In the Diwali of 1981, the workers expected to get a bonus of 20%. However, there was a cut in this, and this particular reason proved to be the cause of unrest. On 18th January 1982, 2.5 lakh workers went on strike. The Girangaon mill stopped running, making it seem like Mumbai's heart stopped throbbing. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Barrister A.R. Antale, set up a committee to solve this issue. In the beginning, the striking workers received help from their native villages. Even as the strike completed 6 months, the central government completely ignored it. The workers started a jail Bharu agitation. In September 1982, 1.5 lakh workers took a march on the Legislative Assembly of Maharashtra State. It didn't, however, help at all. The strike completed a year. This was the first strike to have gone on for a whole year. The central government nationalized 13 textile mills. Now we're going on to the most important part of this chapter, which is the new economic policy. The year 1991 is very important in the history of modern India. After the 10th general elections, P.V. Narasimha Rao became the Prime Minister of India. With Dr. Manmohan Singh as Finance Minister, he adopted the new economic policy of linking India's economy with the global economy. During this time, the rate of inflation was 17%. Economic growth rate had gone down by 1.1%. India had foreign exchange reserves only enough to last for imports for a week. Government had incurred a liability of over 10,000 crore rupees on the economy by waiving off all the loans of all farmers. In 1980 to 1981, foreign loan was $2,350 crore. it increased to $8,380 in 1990 to 1991. It became difficult for India to raise a loan. Even the non-resident Indians started withdrawing their deposits in foreign currency from India. So, what were the remedies taken? P.V. Narasimha Rao appointed Dr. Manmohan Singh as finance minister in order to find a way out of this situation. This was the first move. He removed the restrictions on foreign investments. He restricted the license system to 18 industries. He opened up the public sector for investments by private industries. In order to bring the share market under control, he established the Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, in 1992. Dr. Manmohan Singh signed the agreement with the World Trade Organization and launched the policy of privatization, liberalization, and globalization. The World Trade Organization. General agreement on tariffs and trade existed at the international level before the WTO came into being. It regulated commerce and industries. The provisions of the WTO are regarding grants, import-export, foreign investment, agriculture, technology and services. The sectors of electricity, water, transportation, education and health rapidly commercialized since India became a member of the WTO. India signed the South Asian Preferential Trade Agreement, the SAPTA, along the lines of the World Trade Organization. India also gave discount on import duties and opened up the insurance sector to private and foreign investment. The conclusion. In this way, we have learned about the journey of India's economy. We have come a long way from mixed economy to globalization. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you all like this video and please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you all.